Welcome to the Weekly Social, folks. Everything Katy, Fulshear, Richmond, Texas. Today we got some great guests. We have Priscilla with Select Title, as well as Travis Lairson with TLN Consulting. Travis, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having me. I have been in business development, business coaching, all of that for almost 30 years at this point in time. So
You don't look old enough to say that, sir.
I decided to go ahead and start my own firm. And so about a year ago, I went and started the process of building my own firm to help businesses grow and work with small businesses, large businesses, and really helping them understand the value that they bring, how to structure themselves in a way to be more profitable, to gather more leads, to capture more leads, do all of the things that they need to really grow. And so as I've been doing that process, that's one side of my business. And one of the things that I have found is, there's never enough time in the day. And one of the things that we can't do is make more time. Yes. We can make more money, we can make more food, we can make more things, we can't make more time.
And technology hasn't helped time. I think it's kind of taken time,
Right.
more time away.
Right, and so to that point, one of the things that I have found is that a lot of business owners struggle with, they put things on Facebook, they put things on Instagram, they put things on LinkedIn, and
Me.
yeah, you put things on all of these different platforms. Google My Business, you have email, you have phone, and
Well, you have to, because if you're not, because you don't know what media your client
you have to
That
reach
you're
them.
gonna have. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the problem is you now have 7 platforms that you're going to, and God forbid you talk to this person here, and then somehow they transfer over here, and now you're like, well, I don't know where I had that conversation, and I don't know. So I built a platform that actually brings all that together. So it brings everything into one platform. You can communicate via email, text messaging, you can communicate via Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. You can do all of Google My Business, all of that is in one platform. And if you are slightly larger and have people that are taking phone calls for you, like customer service and things like that, it will record all of the conversations. So
you can go back and take notes.
You can listen to them, you can take notes, you can kind of grade your customer service. So it brings all that into one platform. So now you don't spend, you're gaining an extra 2, 3, 5 hours a week, because you're not trying to remember, where did I talk to John, and where did I talk to Tim, and where did I talk to Priscilla, and it's all in one platform.
Mm-hmm.
All my apps are on my opening page of my phone, so that I can track the notices to go in to respond to people.
Right.
Because if you don't respond for a day or two, you're going to
lose
lose
that
it. Exactly.
connection.
It's a struggle. It truly is.
And the other,
But he's even written bots.
yeah.
He's even doing the little bots.
The chat bots?
Yeah.
Yes.
For the frequently asked questions.
Right.
Well, so as a
I
realtor-
went on to another
that's
part.
okay. So
Rabbit holes.
That's okay.
I like those.
I go rabbit hole all the time. The other thing that you have is, for instance, oftentimes, let's say as a realtor, you are usually using something like Constant Contact or something like that to actually get your message out.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that can be $500-$600 a month.
And a lot of it's limited. You're allowed X amount of emails per month.
Right.
Or you're charged
Extra.
extra, which I got.
And a lot of
hit
them,
on
they have
that.
limitations. They can only go up to
To
X
some
amount.
Right.
And my database covers around 2,000 people.
Yep.
And I try to touch them weekly, so that's 8,000 emails a month. And that's before any announcements or doing anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's going to people's spam, so they're never even getting it, which was the reason I started using it in the first place.
Right. And so what I did with this platform is to bring all that together, and instead of you having to have Constant Contact and Hootsuite or whatever you use for your social media platforming, all of that is brought into one platform. It's one price. I have one client that's on it now that was spending close to $7,000 a month on all of the different platforms, and by bringing it all into my platform, it's unlimited, and they're paying $299 a month. And so it's a much simpler, easier. It brings everything together. And so, as Priscilla was saying with the bots, one of the bots that I have in there, and AI, it is scary, but it is the future, and so
Oh, it's here.
yeah,
It's here.
we've got to
It's here.
just embrace it.
Mhm.
One of the bots that I have that you can upgrade and get is specifically to close deals. So, for instance, you're a realtor. Let's say you're out showing a house and you're in the middle of doing a walkthrough and your phone rings. You're not going to answer the phone.
You can't.
You can't, right? But the person oftentimes, if let's say they're trying to sell their home, they're not going to necessarily leave you a message. They're just going to go to the next agent on the list. This system, my system, will actually text them immediately to say, hey, sorry, I missed your call. Let me know how I can help you. And then when they text back and say, I'm interested in selling my house, the bot picks up at that point in time and says, that's great, happy to help you. Tell me, what's the address? Why are you looking to sell the house? When are you looking to sell the house? It goes through all those questions to qualify them, puts the notes in the system, and will schedule the seller visit for you to go out and figure out to
So
meet.
it's tied to the calendar as well on your.
Yes, it does all of that stuff.
Because if it's not on my calendar, it
It
doesn't
doesn't happen.
exist.
Right.
That's correct.
Right.
And it will build all of that stuff. And you're still doing the showing for the house that you're trying to sell, and you've picked up another house to sell that you're doing.
So it's like a virtual assistant.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Back to emails.
Yeah.
I want to unpack that real
Sure.
quick. Because it's a challenge. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that I've spent a lot of time researching. So on the emails, I may have wrong information and learn something from you, but from the research that I've done, the emails need to go out in blocks of less than 1,000 so it doesn't become pre-canned spam.
Yes.
And then the other thing is, like the blocking of the email addresses. I mean, that's another challenge. So, I mean, do you have stuff in place to work through that? Because it's all about the opening rate. Sending the email, that's one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
What I track and what I really need is the opening rate.
Yep. So we could do a 4-hour segment on this.
Okay.
But,
Cliff notes, please.
yeah. So first things first, if let's say you are a new mechanic and you've started a business and you're going to start selling stuff,
Sure.
you want to warm up your email. So you're going to want to send 25 emails at once for a period of time. And then, a couple days later you can move to 50 and then you can move to 100. Ultimately, you don't.
I didn't know any
Yeah.
of that.
So ultimately, you don't want to go over 1,000 or 2,000 in one block. Most technology, including mine, will actually do it in a drip mode. So it will send
It
out
releases X amount.
at a time
Okay.
for a period of time. Yes. So
Got
you
it.
don't have to worry about hitting those spam blocks. The other thing that you want to make sure that you do is if you can put in personalization. So put in a tag in there, so it's going to Richard, and it says Richard, blah, blah, and it's the email, that will help pass spam blocking as well.
Using the client's first name
Yes.
is what I put in my subject line.
Yes.
And that tremendously helps with I know national average opening
Oh,
rate.
wait, in the subject line,
In the
not
subject line.
just in the body of
You
the
can do it in
email.
the subject or the body of the email. Either one of them will help.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I do it in both.
okay.
And again, this is from the research that I've done. I'm not the professional on it. Opening rate, if you can hit 7%, that's considered a great opening rate on a mass email nationally. The weekly newsletters that I send out, and I'm proud of this, I'm a little biased, they're
Go
mine.
ahead, go ahead.
My average opening rate hovers between 35 and 45%.
That's right.
Bravo.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting out pre-canned stuff. I'm putting out like the
Real.
weekly social. This is real. It's organic, and it's stuff that I believe the consumers are gravitating and looking towards.
Right.
And if there's something that you guys want, send me a direct message. We're here to accommodate.
Right.
So that's an important piece as well. So not only the personalization, but let's say you send out 100 emails and 7% open them. So 7 people open the emails, but 12% or 12 people actually unsubscribe from that list. That will ding you as well. So if you have a great number that unsubscribe from that email, so that's why you want to make sure that you're not sending a bunch of cold emails. You want to send them out to people that at least know that you're not spamming them.
Right.
And I think that that's one of the
I lose
things.
a couple a week, but
Right.
I mean, when you're hovering around 2,000 people,
Yeah.
you're not gonna retain it.
Right.
And I think that that's the one thing that you have to think about is the fact that you're sending out a mass message. It's not spam. It's mass message to a bunch of people that want to get that mass message. It's different than I just turned 45 and I somehow got put on the National Registry for every bald smoker, and I've never smoked in my life, with bad credit.
Hey, look at this bald head.
I know, and I get those
He's
emails
got perfect hair.
constantly.
Yeah,
I get those emails constantly, and I'm like, that's spam. I don't want that. So that's the difference, and that comes down to it.
SEO. I mean, do you want to rank #1 on Google? I get 4 or 5 emails every, and I click block on, and every day it's 4 or 5 more. And from it's like an algorithm that comes to me. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that to people. I send out once a week.
Yes, yours
And
is.
It's all data and information that you don't have access to on the internet. I'm just, like, how do they get to you?
Yeah.
I'm bringing you to them, and then I'm going to send it out to them next Thursday
Right.
to promote you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think one of the things too that you have to be careful of is the conversations that you're having with people. You also want to make sure that there are some of those emails that people are responding back to. If it's all only one way, that can hurt you as well. So if you send emails, so that's why it's important to actually put a question in there that people respond to, because when you get those responses, that pulls your spam ranking down, and you don't have to worry about that as much.
Ah, that's something new I did not know.
I
But
didn't know that
that's
either.
why that's so important. They put out there, you know, even on your social media posts and stuff, to ask questions. So people are engaged.
Yes.
So that's important on the emails. What about text? If you're doing a group text?
Text is a little bit different, but it's important to make that engagement. So there's a great book. They asked, I answered, we answered.
They asked, I answered, I think is what
yes.
it is.
And I'm not going to be able to tell you the name of the person that wrote it right now.
Me either.
It is a great book. It's about a gentleman that had a pool business, and he realized that their business was not doing well. And in order to grow their business, what he started doing was answering questions. People would ask them questions, and he would respond to those, but he would put those responses in bulk emails, and people started to tune in, and he became the subject matter expert in it. And so it's really important to have those communications and keep those communications going back and forth, because that's what really drives your knowledge and your expertise for people to want and come back to. One of the other things, relationship is key. One of the other things that you said in that question, and I said it was a deep dive, you talked about the fact that you look at open rate, and open rate is extraordinarily important. Another thing that I would encourage you or anyone else to look at is click-through rate. So what links do you have on that email, and are you actually monitoring how many people click on those links?
I do.
So that's another important piece. So of the 30% that actually open, what percentage of those 30% are actually clicking through? That's a huge indicator as to integration as well.
Now, with the system I use, I can't track the specific link that they're clicking through because
That's why you use my system.
well, precisely that's why we have
Exactly. But I mean, you know, that's so important is to know all those things, but to have, we are not the experts on it. You're the expert in listing a house and getting it
I'm a real
sold,
estate
right?
broker. That's right.
So we have to have those experts that know what they're doing, because we are not the expert in that. And that's why Travis has been so instrumental, because I don't know all that stuff, and it's like, okay, let's just get this done so I don't have to worry about it.
Right. It's a challenge, especially if you're running a small business. Because I mean, there's gorillas out there in our business. I'm talking
100%.
800-pound gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
There's pay to play. There's organic. I mean, there's a whole matrix of stuff that goes on out there, and you have to be kind of part of all of it. I mean, you can spend huge amounts of money just do pay to play, but if you're not doing the organic stuff, and that's stuff that the mom and pops, they don't know.
Right. I was listening to something last night, and it was saying that they're paying like $4,000 a month to push it out and do all the ads and everything with it. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's just a crazy amount of money to spend.
Well, and then Facebook and Google, it's a competition between those two. So like, I struggle with my YouTube, which when I push it out through my newsletter, the videos, it typically pushes them through to my YouTube because that's most of my links.
Right.
But if I put a YouTube link on Facebook, it falls flat on its face. But if I upload the video into Facebook, which is what we're doing right now is live,
Right.
we're gonna get 1,000+ views. But if I can take this exact same video and do a YouTube upload or copy and paste and put it in there, we'll get 30 or 40. I mean, it's drastically different.
Yep. It's based on the integration of the system. So as you said, they are competing platforms, and so they make sure that the intelligence behind it treats it as a competing platform. So if you do it direct, it's fine. If you don't do it direct, it's not going to rank. It's not going to get there.
Right.
And so you just have to be careful with that.
Yeah. So that's the challenge that I have between those two platforms.
Well, you also have the fact that with those two platforms, Meta and Google, they change their game probably more frequently than the three of us change our underwear
All
combined.
Yeah.
Like, and so trying to keep up with exactly what they're doing, how they're ranking people, it's almost impossible.
Wow.
Their algorithms change all the time. Now, there's a strategy that you can use. It's going to take you only so far, and if you're not using it, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yep.
But you know, the pay to play, they want your money. I mean,
Yep.
that's my opinion. For whatever that's worth.
Well, when you sign up for a Google business page, they say they give you $500 in credit or something, but yet you're charged first. You pay for it and then you get it after.
You got to spend X
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
or
Right.
You got to burn money to get to it. That's correct.
It's kind of like an Amex. You have to spend so much before they give you the reward points.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. But I mean, you put a package together, Travis, to help businesses win.
Yes.
And by developing this program and putting all this together, you save them time. You make sure they're in communication and that they're not. You're putting the reminders in there so that they are top of mind.
Yeah.
Right. And then
While we're on that topic, is this desktop? Is it app?
Yes.
Is it
Both.
both?
Yes,
Both?
it is both. So
Okay.
it is web-based, so it's desktop. You can get to it from any platform, but there's also an app that will bring you all of the individual pieces and parts. So you can, as a realtor or let's say you're in field sales and you're out all the time, when people communicate with you, if they call you, it's going to ring on your cell phone. If they send you a text message, you're going to get a notification on your cell phone in the app.
Okay.
You can send emails, texts, communicate through
Is it my
Instagram.
same number or is it a different number?
So it would be it would be a different number that people will call, and what we can do is actually set that number to just ring through to your cell phone number.
Got it.
So we can do that.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned not only saving time, but frankly saving money. And as I said, I have clients that are on my platform that have saved thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. I can't imagine how much they're saving on an annual basis. And for you guys, one of the things that I really wanted to do was, there's 3 levels of my platform. There's a very basic level that is great for small startup businesses that really just need the phone technology. It's $99 a month. The other 2 bring in web, bring in all of the platforms, all of that stuff, and they're $199 or $299 a month.
Okay.
And so I put together an offer for you guys and for your listeners. It's $199 off the first month.
Okay.
And so they can choose either of those 2 packages. It's $199 off the first month, and the code is the weekly social, all one word, all lowercase, and we get
weekly social.
the weekly
The
social.
Weekly
Weekly
social.
social.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
All
then
right.
the website that they need to go to is TLN, so Travis Lairson, me, N is in Nancy, consultinggroup.com.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. And you can go in, register, and get that $199 off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if they have questions, can they call you?
Yes, so they can call. My phone number is on that website. In addition, there's a book a demo, so they can book that. It goes on my calendar, and I'm happy to walk them through. During that demo, really the walkthrough maybe takes 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow, that's
What,
fast.
what I really do is spend some time to figure out what it is that they need
And wants.
and put them in the right package. Because the last thing I want to do as a small business owner myself is I don't want to be upsold a bunch of crap that I'll never use. I don't want to be sold into stuff that I don't understand and can't use. I don't want to do that. And so,
step-up platform, let's say they start with the base one,
Yeah.
and they go, you know what, hey, this is great, this is starting to move the needle, I
Right.
fully understand this, now I want to go to another level.
Yes.
Hey, Travis.
we can absolutely do
Yes.
that.
Okay.
We can absolutely do that. And then things like the automation, the AI bots and all that type of stuff, those are things that we can bring on top of that. If people would like to do that, we're happy to do that, and we can bring those on. We have all of those integrations and all those things, and those are additional pieces and parts. But again, I need to understand what it is your business is doing so that I can make sure that you get the right platform that works for you
Right.
in the best way, and it's not overwhelming. The last thing that you want is something that's overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah, because there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah.
It changes constant. I mean,
Yeah.
I learn something every single
Yeah.
day.
Okay, so now I'm changing topics.
Yep.
I'm going to, as a business owner, and you're wanting to look at your business and make sure, everything is very effective.
Yep.
What would be the question that you would ask?
So I think it depends on where they are in the stages. So let's say they're an existing business owner and they say, you know what, I am spending too much time in my business. I want to be able to get more time to spend with my family. The reason I started my own business is because I wanted to be my own of getting 3 or 4 hours back in a week so that you can spend it on your business rather than in it. So that way you can look at the strategy and figure out how to grow and do all of those things.
The average realtor, they get a client, they focus all their energy
Yep.
into that client, that deal closes, and now
They
they
have to move on to the next.
They got to move on to the next.
But
So that's
you're
the peaks
not,
and
yeah,
valleys.
that's your peaks and valleys,
Yeah, 'cause
because
they're
you're
not
not
working-
keeping it
They're working
consistent.
in their business with the client versus working on
the
the
business.
next one.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And then if it was a business that's, let's say they've been in business for a number of years, maybe it's, take any business, a mechanic. And they had thought, you know what, I'm going to hand this down to my son when I step out. Or maybe it's an engineer and they're going to hand off their engineering company to their family or whatever.
Right.
And the kids, my dad will attest, don't want to do that. Like, I have no desire to be a farmer for the rest of my life. And so it's
I
not.
cannot see you out there. I can't
Yeah.
see it.
I grew up that way. But,
I know.
then it's a matter of, do you have a business that is sellable? And for me, the question that I always ask is simple. If I were to hand you a ticket and you were to go, I tell you, you have to get on a plane at Houston in 3 hours, you have enough time to go home and pack a bag, and you're going to a beach, so you don't need to pack much, and you're going to be there for 3 weeks. You're not going to have email, you're not going to have phone, you're not going to be able to talk to anybody. When you come back in 3 weeks, will your business have imploded? Will it have stayed the same, or will it have grown? If the answer is your business will have imploded, you don't have a sellable business. And the reason is because you don't have policies.
You are the business.
You are the business. I can't sell your brain. You have to be able to have policies and procedures in place in order to sell.
That's correct.
And so that's the one. If it's a business that stays the same, then there's a couple of things in play. One, we need to figure out how to get you energized and grow again so that you have something that is desirable to buy. It could be that it's a seasonal thing. You are in landscaping and nobody's landscaping right now. Or it could be that you're in a space where the business has fizzled out a little bit. There's no space there. So
Right,
that's a different
right.
story. Or it could be a business that has grown. At that point in time, yes, we're ready to sell. We just got to figure out how to optimize the value of your company to be able to do that.
Most people do not understand exit strategies.
Correct. Correct.
I used to broker businesses,
Yep.
so I'm a little in tune with that. Typically, what I would see when people would go sell their business, A, it was losing money,
Mhm.
or B, health issues. So it was a problem.
Yep.
And you got to figure out how. Nobody wants to sell their business when it's printing money and that they're right
Right.
away going up top.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the opportune time to sell it
Yep.
Right.
to get top dollar.
Yep.
Right. And as you know, years ago, we had an owner that got sick and sold the company, because he didn't want the kids to have to deal with all that and,
Yep.
so, that's something that it happens, and you got to figure out. So
And I think that, you know, those are similar, but there are slight differences there in the fact that you do have to have an exit strategy. You have to figure out what that is. And I truly believe that you need to put a date on that exit strategy. I need to know that when I turn X years old or on X date, I will have built the business to be able to walk away. Because if you don't do that, you never will. That's the first piece.
SMART goal is what I call that.
Yeah, exactly. The second piece is, God forbid you get sick, you get hit by a bus, and occasionally we all look for a bus to get hit by. But whatever, you know.
see, that's why I like it.
Yeah. You need to have a continuity of care plan in place so that if that happens, there's someone that can step in and continue to run the business so that all of your clients don't get left in the lurch. Like,
Right.
you have to be able to
Right.
Is what I call that.
Right.
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 Here
So-
today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a team.
Yeah. So
You have
both
to
of those
create the
things.
team
Yeah.
to make that viable for everybody
Yes.
and the business.
Yeah.
So it can't just be that one person
Correct. Correct.
that is tied to everything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you
All
have
right.
to delegate so you can elevate,
Yeah.
which a lot of people don't want to let go of that stuff.
Mhm.
It's a challenge.
Mhm.
I suffer that sometimes myself too. I do. I'm
Yeah.
human.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. We want that connection. We want to feel viable, I
Mhm.
guess. A lot of the times is that.
Well, so, and to that point, I think that I say this all the time. People have an innate need to feel needed. And so, as an owner of a business, as a manager of a business, as a leader in a business, your job isn't to dictate what people are doing. It is to empower them to feel needed for their role. And if you can make your employees feel needed, they will be your employees for life. They're never going to leave you. If you treat them like an employee and don't worry about them feeling needed and don't listen to them, that's when you have people that are jumping ship and you have high turnover and you have all of those problems and you have an unstable business, because it really does come down to you or a core group of people that are running the business, not your entire organization. So it's key.
Mm-hmm. But that's key in every aspect of
Right.
life.
Right. How many people get divorced because they don't feel needed by their spouse anymore?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also the buy-in. I mean, I ran businesses for 30 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the challenging things that I've always ran into was the employees. I mean, the heart. I would rather have nobody than the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds bad, but you have to have somebody that fits your corporate or company culture, excuse me, that has the same values and that assimilates with what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
And that's not an easy feat.
No. And I would also say that when you're hiring people, unless it's a very specific role, like you are an architectural firm and you need someone that understands stress management at 30 stories and above, you need to hire people that are a good fit for your bus and not a good fit for the seat in the bus. Of course, they need to be able to sit in that seat, but if you get people that are good hires and good fits for your bus, they're going to move throughout that bus to other positions and help you grow your company and grow the exposure of your company. If you get somebody that just fits in that seat, they may not fit the bus and everybody on the bus is going to throw them out or leave. And so you have to look at it from that perspective as well.
Character. A lot of people hire off of education, but most people are fired because of their character.
Right.
So I always try to figure out the character of the person. I want the person with the right character. The knowledge, I can convey that in the future.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
As long as they want.
that's an inside job.
Yeah.
Motivation's an inside job.
Right. But that's like what you're talking about is the bus and moving to the different seats is they want it. They want to help and grow in all those areas, and they don't want to sit in that one seat.
Right.
Are we referencing the energy bus?
Pretty much. Pretty
Great
much.
book,
That's
yeah.
a great book.
Yeah.
Great
Marvelous
book.
book.
Yes. Yes.
Great book.
So, I had another question in my head, and I lost
Man,
it.
we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. I mean, you and I have talked and gone through, but I mean, I believe in learned things today that we haven't gone over. So, but, with having all those things in place, and having the right people and the right character and motivated, it just makes.
One thing that I learned in the course of running companies my entire life is I used to think, because general manager, owner, whatever, I made all the decisions. That is so far from the truth.
100%.
90+% of the decisions are made by the people underneath me, but I get to live with 100% of them.
Yeah.
You have to live with 100% of them, yes.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that the people under you making those decisions are the people that you trust.
But you have to also empower them to make the decisions
Correct.
too.
Correct.
And you know what else is kind of cool when you say that? Is like, you know, your customers and how your business is growing, you're trusting in them at the same time because they are your business partner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to both of those points, when we talk about time as a leader and you're trying to, again, you can't make more time, but find more time to work on your business that you're leading, the only way you can do that is by empowering the people below you to do the things that they need to do because you trust them to actually do them.
Right.
And so one of the things that I work with a lot of business owners on is how do you learn to trust the people? How do you delegate the tasks off to them so that way they're not coming to you when you have open door policy, which I love, open door policy, and they're coming to you and distracting you from whatever you're doing. So now this 1 hour project that you've been working on to write a contract or whatever now takes 4 days because everybody comes in and interrupts you because they have to ask you the question because they're not empowered to answer it themselves. And you have to stop that.
It's one thing that I've experienced also is that there's people that come and they ask you questions, but it's for them to do nothing and to give you busy work as an employer.
Correct.
You have to also be able to see through that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I call
And put it-
releasing monkeys in my office.
Yeah,
Right.
taking the monkey off your shoulder and giving it back to them.
Yeah.
What-
And let them answer the question.
You brought me the problem, now what's your solution?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the solution, then please come back and see me when you have it, and then we'll discuss it
Right.
and work through it together.
Yeah.
Don't bring just the problem.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, y'all just overloaded my head.
Sorry.
Wow.
What's new?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
It's a wonderful thing.
So do you do coaching,
I do.
mentoring?
The answer is yes.
All the above.
So I have two sides of the business. So the one is the technology that we talked about, and that's the TLN Consulting Group. The other one is where I really started was business coaching. So I work with businesses to help them grow.
Okay.
One of the things that I found in the area was a lot of people, when I'm working with very small businesses, needed the technology to help them find the time to then work on coaching. And so I saw that there was a huge need for the technology and helping people gain back more time. So I built that out. And from there, then I start to have conversations with them about, okay, if we do these three things, it'll help you find even more time so you can work on your business, and it really converts them into the coaching side as well. So I do both.
And when the capital comes up, they can hire more people and create more time as well.
Correct. And so work on both of those.
Yeah, because you're a business. I mean, you know, I don't own Select Title, but it's my business. It's, you know,
You're a branch manager.
yes, and I'm empowered to make sure my employees are paid and have a job and, you know.
Everything's
and so-
results driven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why I see it as such a benefit, what Travis is offering, you know, to create that and to help the whole team.
Do you have a cloning machine too?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
I had to
I
ask.
think, you know,
Yeah.
I think that's the next development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hologram, something.
Something.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
So when
okay,
you see that in the future, it started with the weekly social.
There you go.
So
100%.
We'll make sure royalties are paid.
yes,
Yeah.
So go back to what you're offering to everybody that's listening to the weekly social.
So there's two businesses. One is tlnconsultinggroup.com. The other one is Action Coach SWHG. That stands for Southwest Houston and Gulf. So Action Coach SWHG.com. For the marketing platform, the digital platform side on TLN Consulting Group, there are three packages. If you do the middle or the higher packages, which are either $199 or $299 a month, if you use the weekly social, all one word, all lowercase, it is $199 off the first month. So essentially you get to try it free for a month. We get everything set up and you're off and running, and then you can make the decision, do I want to do this or not?
Right.
We'll help you with the transition. So if you use things like Hootsuite, or if you use things like
Constant
Contact, we'll help you import all of those. If you use ClickFunnels, we can import all of those funnels in.
Oh, that's huge.
If you, yeah, so we do website, we do funnels, we do landing pages, we do blogs, we do all of that stuff in this platform. So if you already have stuff out there, we can import it into our platform, so you don't have to worry about it.
So, and everything keeps running smoothly with no
Yes.
downtime,
Yes,
which nobody likes disruptions.
correct.
No.
Correct.
Ah,
Well-
wow.
Please reach out to Travis,
Mhm.
explore what he has to offer. He's an industry leader with the technology stuff, because I've explored a ton of stuff, and that package that you described, and I'm talking about stuff that costs $10,000 plus a month,
Mhm.
does not offer at that level. It doesn't.
Okay, before we sign off, please talk about what's going on Saturday.
Tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., we are going to be at the Ballard House doing a blood drive. If you would please come out and donate. We save 50 to 60 lives annually doing this blood drive. And if you can't make it to ours, go to another one.
Right.
Because there's such a huge shortage of blood in our local community. All that blood's going to be used up before the sun sets tomorrow. But again, we're going to be at the Ballard House from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow off Mason Road.
Right.
So please come on out and see us. We look forward to it. Travis, thank you for coming out
Absolutely.
today.
It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Priscilla, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful.
We'll see you all next week. Thanks.
Bye, guys.